Welcome back to the Thrive in Your Mission podcast. And Avira and I are so excited to be back here. We had such a great conversation the last time. Well, we always have good conversations. And, we're just really excited to share a little bit more as we dive deeper into another topic that I know has come up for me personally and my clients as well. And Elvira, I know is feeling the same. And let's get into it. Elvira, let's talk about this whole imposter syndrome scenario that comes up, I think, for a lot of mission driven entrepreneurs. You have a mission, but what comes up is like the fear, am I good enough? Can I really be the expert speaking on this? Am I allowed to be more seen, more noticed? And who am I, right? That question, that voice that comes in your head to try to sabotage, or maybe it's not even sabotage. It's just a little bit of like wanting to keep you safe. I think the voice in your head wants to keep you safe. It wants to, you to not feel like something's going to harm you, that fight or flight comes up, that it's very instinctual as humans to have that feeling. It feels scary. And often what happens though is we end up self-sabotaging because of that. And this is something that I've experienced myself, over the past, even before I became an entrepreneur. I would say I dealt with imposter syndrome. I mean, I dealt with that just working in my corporate job, working in fashion and doubting myself as a leader, as somebody who was even a manager of a team, not feeling like I maybe knew all the answers or had it right, and always questioning when I had to present a new line for the season. I know that imposter syndrome came up a lot because I had to present to my boss and the vice president, and everybody's staring at you thinking like, does she have it right? Did she get it right this season, with the trends or whatever we put out there, right? And it can be very it's just like sometimes a painful process to deal with that. So, I mean, as an entrepreneur, it's even more like you're in the spotlight because it's you, right? And the work you're putting out is you. And so it can feel very vulnerable and scary. So what is your take on this, Elvira?
Wow. Yeah, I'm getting so many downloads as you're talking there, Tavia. And yeah, such an important conversation, especially for entrepreneurs, heart-centered entrepreneurs, especially like us. Because yeah, like imposterhood is our protection mechanism. It's actually, in my opinion, our ego showing up to say, hey, let's stay small and in the box so nobody can judge you, so nobody can criticize you, so nobody can think you're not good enough, right? And that's what happens, right? So you talked about your previous life and my previous life as well. I had two very solid healthcare careers where I felt like an imposter every single freaking day. Can you imagine going through 27 years, two careers where you felt like an imposter every day? The only time I did not feel like an imposter was when I, this is going to sound so stupid, when I went to the national sales meetings and we would have the opportunity sometimes, depending on what was going on, to sing. So I'm a singer. Obviously, I became a singer at 51 professionally. I don't feel like an imposter when I'm up on stage singing. I don't feel like I don't belong here. I know this is where I belong, right? When I'm on stage, it's home for me. And yet, like when I did big pharma for 20 years, we would go to national sales meetings, and I remember going up on stage and singing my heart out. And afterwards, all my colleagues going, "Oh my God, you should be doing this professionally." And I was like, "Yeah, right." And I thought they were just being nice, but they were right. I should have been doing it professionally. Oh my God, makes me want to cry. Even one of my colleagues walked up to me and said, "Elvira, if you ever decide to go professional, I want to be your agent. I want to be your manager." And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me, Gail? Like it just blew my mind, right? But at the same time, I knew that, what they were saying, wasn't that far off. Like I was still, being, like relatively small. Like I remember my team from Quebec, right, where Celine Dion is from. They're like, "You're just like Celine Dion," right? And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Right? But
Cute.
I did feel at home there, and that's where I really do belong, is on a stage. I'm a speaker now, and I'm a multi-award winning jazz artist now. I've even wowed Oprah's man. These are all signs from the universe that I'm in alignment. And so, but back then I lived out of alignment, and it's because I didn't think I knew enough, but I had to go
Yeah.
through that experience, and then and living from ego. So this is really important, right? Back then I lived
Hmm.
from ego because I didn't know any other way to live. Today I
Hmm.
live from essence, from my soul, right? So back then, I did have little glimmers of soul when I was able to sing. Oh, and I got to perform at a national sales meeting where I literally rewrote a Backstreet Boys song, and I did it in alignment with one of our meds that we were launching at this meeting. And I fell on my face the day before, and I broke my nose, and I should not have been on stage singing the next day. But I was committed to doing this, and I did it with my nose all bandaged up, and I got a 5-minute standing ovation. And I sang a
Wow.
cappella at the Rings Hotel in the grand ballroom. And those were the two times I felt most in alignment in my 27 years. So there's a sign, right? Like it's normal to feel that I'm not good enough if your ego is running the show. Okay. So
Yeah.
so when you're feeling like an imposter, ask your higher self, is this true? Am I really, not meant to do this? Or should I really have fear around it? Your higher self, if you're in alignment, is going to say, you've got this. Keep
Yes.
going, keep growing, right? So when we're living in absolute alignment, authentic, fully self-expressed, where ego's not running our show, where it's our higher self running the show, imposterhood quiets down, because imposterhood is just your ego trying to keep you safe and at a certain level so that you won't make a fool of yourself, right? I couldn't
Yes.
thank people at my own wedding 37 years ago, this June 10th, because I was terrified of looking stupid in front of my friends and family, making a mistake while I thanked them. Okay. How
Hmm.
ridiculous is that? But that's who I was back then, right? Ego ran my show. My higher self was not running the show back then. So I asked my husband to go up and thank people on both our behalfs. Like that just makes me sad to think that that's what I did back then, right? So first of all,
Hmm.
I hope you do a great thank you at your wedding, Tavia. Do it for both of us, because I'm so excited I've come to your wedding. But anyway, I'm digressing here. But the fact is that back then, ego was running my show. I was terrified to be seen, to make a fool of myself. That was just my ego keeping me safe, right? So I had, I actually was told I had to speak at a national sales conference, and I'm like, no, I can't speak. And I started crying. And my boss put me in a course, Dale Carnegie, so I would get over my fear of public speaking, which I did, and it got me so far. But then when I had my mental breakdown and spiritual breakthrough at the end of my corporate, because I didn't belong there anymore, that's when I got the gift of channeling. So today I'm a speaker on world class stages. I'm represented by Professional Speakers Bureau. And honestly, I told them when they brought me on, very magically during COVID, it was one of my dreams, and I manifested it during COVID. I told them, I said, listen, I don't speak, I channel. And they're like, we don't care. We checked you out online. You're fabulous, right? So, this is what I do today. Like, Spirit uses me as a channel to say what I'm supposed to say, right? I have a little prayer I say before I go on stage or go on camera. And now I just do it automatically. I don't even say it, but it's this, dear God, Spirit, Source, Universe, whatever I decide to call my higher power that day, allow me to share with this audience what they need to hear for their highest and best. Your will, not mine, be done. And bang, I go out there and I channel. And that is what that is my gift. It was activated when I had my breakdown and blessed breakthrough. And so now I get to be a channel. I got to become a pro jazz artist at 51. That was another gift that was taken to the next level so I could do it professionally, because I got out of my own effing way fear and ego, I decided I was good enough to be on a world-class stage. I simply decided that I was good enough. And sure enough, I am now. And, it takes courage at the beginning, but it's your thing to do, right? So that's what allowed me to go from ego around my singing to singing from essence, right? So I think that our inner work is so important to not let ego run the show so that we can bring down our imposterhood. Like I've really been able to control it more. It still comes up. Ego still tries to come up to protect me. Like, who are you? And are you really the authority in this? And blah, 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 right? It still comes up. But I recognize the voice and I'm able to say, no, thank you very much, ego. I know you're trying to protect me, but this is my thing to do. So does that make
Mm.
sense?
Oh yeah, totally. And I was just, I mean, I resonate with a lot of what you were saying, and I was just watching an episode of CBS Sunday Morning. This is a show we get here in the States, and they have these special interviews that they do, and it's like different segments. And yesterday, someone interviewed Patti LaBelle, and I forget, I think she's going to turn like 82. And they were interviewing her because she's still touring, she's still singing. And she said that when she was in her group, her trio, which was called the LaBelle, right? It was three women together, and they did Lady Marmalade. That was the song she
Mm,
did with them, right? And they had other hits. And she said she felt comfortable because she was one of the three. But when she went out on her own, she didn't say the word imposter syndrome, but I know that's what she was explaining because she
ah,
said she felt like a lot of discomfort. She was scared to go out on her own, like by yourself. It's harder. It was easier for
yeah,
her to be in a group because she was one of a few instead of being the only one in
mm,
the spotlight.
yes,
And I mean, this is Patti LaBelle. Okay, this is like, hello. She is, I mean, amazing. She's an icon. She's an icon.
yeah,
Who doesn't know? What hit does she not sing? Like every one of her songs, we all know them. She is incredible, right? What a voice.
yeah,
What a powerhouse, too. When you see her, you think powerhouse. And she is talking about imposter syndrome. She didn't use the words again, but I know that's what she was talking about because she let fear, scare her, almost scare her out of going out on her
yeah,
own, to be honest, because she
yeah,
was
yeah,
really uncomfortable with it. She said for a very long time. And then she
yeah,
got over it eventually because she just
yeah,
kept, fighting the fear, right? So this is what we can kind of get into now in identity expansion, because I think we have to touch upon this. And I talk about this a lot in my work because I feel that when you embody a new identity, you can become that identity. It's
yeah,
almost like you become an alter ego. If that
yeah,
helps, to create an alter ego to allow you to become this new identity that is inside of you. It's not like we're putting on a costume. We're not being fake or phony.
yeah,
It's a part of you, but a different side of you. Maybe it's a more powerful side of you, a more edgy side of you. It is in there, but you haven't allowed it to really be the main character. You're
yeah,
allowing the safe, comfortable, fearful one who doesn't like to be in the spotlight. That's the one running the show, not the
yeah,
one that is supposed to be in the spotlight, right? And this is where you have to do some identity work. It's
yeah,
mindset, it's embodiment, it's really talking yourself, maybe mirror work, right, into
yeah,
this new identity. And that's where, when you're somebody who's mission led, like we are, and that's who we work with, right? We know how important this is, because if
yeah,
you do not become your new identity, you will never really achieve your mission. You have to
yeah,
become this other identity in order to achieve it. It's just like Beyonce becoming Sasha Fierce when she
yes,
performed on
yes,
stage. She went to church. She was a good, quote unquote, good girl. And she was like, oh no, I would never, show my skin, shake my booty on the stage, because the church Beyonce, the girl that was like, the good girl, right, wasn't
God
allowed to do
fearing,
that.
God fearing,
Yes,
yeah,
God
yes,
fearing. She said,
yeah,
no, no, right? She had to become this other identity in order for her to really become Beyonce as we know her, Queen Bee, right? And she
Mhm.
had to become that alter ego. And so, and a lot of people do this. Kobe Bryant, had to become the Black Mamba when he played the game, right? Because he could not really step into his full power unless he
Yeah.
became the Black Mamba. Many, many, many people become identity, like they have a different identity that they associate themselves with when they want to step into that more powerful, edgy, bolder, whatever it is, side of them, because that's where they know they can truly achieve the mission they are here to put on this earth to achieve, right? Do
Yeah.
you agree with this?
Oh, I love all of that so much. Yeah, honestly, like I believe Sasha Fierce is her higher self that is here to
Mm-hmm.
entertain the world. And
Yes.
and the ego self was the one that played small in church in the box, right? That I did that
Mm-hmm.
too as a Catholic. I stayed in the
Yep.
box and today I play as big as I possibly can, and it's always a work in progress, right? Because life happens, we're triggered, right? We all have traumas. Nobody gets out of childhood without traumas. And we're triggered. And that is where we get to say, okay, there you are again, my ego trying to protect me, because when I was little, I was told I was too much. That's what I was told by my mother, by the way, that I was too much. Yeah. And so
Too
yeah,
sassy
that's
for me. It was too
yeah, too
sassy was
sassy.
mine.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. And God bless my mama. She's the sweetest woman today, but she was very quiet and she stayed in the box. Like I think I talked
Mm,
about it on one of the last shows that she wasn't able to become fully expressed. So she doesn't
right.
show up at my jazz shows, or she shows up at the launch of my CD and talks to my friend the whole time, right? So
Hmm.
I know that my bigness triggered her. And so, but I'm still going to do it despite my mother agreeing or not, right? That's
Right.
my decision, because if I play small, no one's going to see me. And if I play tall, I get to accomplish my mission, right? So our message to you guys, watching, listening, is simply play as tall as you can. And if you're not, then do some deeper inner work. You can join us in the collective. You can talk to me. I'm a coach. Inner work is my specialty. But get what you need in order to step up and own your main character energy. That is your higher self. I truly believe you're not putting something on and making the world think you're something you're not. No, you are being your higher self when you're in that
Yes.
that alter ego. Your alter ego, think about it. Oh my God, I've never thought about that until right now. Alter ego, it's the opposite of ego. When you're in your ego, you're playing small. So your
Yes.
alter ego is playing tall. Oh my God, just channel that right now. Chills. Chills.
Yes.
Yay!
Yes. Alter
Yay!
ego. Yes, is playing tall. It's
Yes.
so true. Because don't you, I know you probably feel this too. When you really embody the alter ego, it's like you get this surge of
Yes.
power. I don't know what,
Yes.
adrenaline or
Yeah.
whatever we want to call it. Like
You're in
our
the
energy
zone. You're in the
shifts. You're
zone,
in the
right?
zone. Yes,
Yes. Yes.
exactly. And we all
Yeah.
know it because I know we've all felt it at some point.
Yeah.
But then sometimes we're like, oh, well, I can't do that again, or oh, that was too much, right? You kind of talk yourself out of it and say, well,
Yeah.
no, I got to go back to my little box where it feels safe and comfy, where
Yeah.
everybody doesn't like think I'm being too much or too
Yes.
whatever. You're afraid of what they're going to say. I
Yeah.
totally get that. And I know
Yeah.
Avira, we talk about this, right? But the problem with that is that nobody who ever made any difference was somebody who stayed in the box. Never, right?
No.
The people that make change happen are the people that are bold enough to go out
Yes.
there and do it and not worry whatever people are going to say. They don't worry
Yeah.
about that. They might
Yeah.
worry, but they're going to do it anyway because they know they need to.
Yeah.
It's their mission. It's what they're
That's
put
it.
on earth to achieve. And you're doing your
Yeah.
soul a disservice by not going after your mission. Your soul came here to accomplish that mission. And so
Yeah.
I think everybody has a soul mission, but
Yeah.
not everybody is brave enough to go and just go after it, go
Yeah.
make it
Yeah.
happen. I just think
Yeah.
that, right? Everybody has a soul mission.
Absolutely. And some of us will get it in this lifetime and some of us
Yes.
won't. So if
Yes.
you're watching this, chances are you're someone that's meant to get it in this lifetime. You're here for a purpose, a mission that's bigger than you. So you need to become the person that that mission can flow through. Okay? You're a
Mm,
channel as well. We're all channels. We're here divinely
yes.
guided to accomplish our mission. So, how about we close it off there and we invite people to
Yes.
reach out if they have any questions, Tavia?
Sounds good. We
Okay.
would love to hear your thoughts. I know this was a long one, but I think it
Yeah.
was a good one. And so we'd love to hear what resonated with you. And if you would love to join our collective, please reach out. We can share more information. And we do have an application process because we want to make sure that you're a good fit and you also
Yeah.
enjoy being in the collective, right? So please reach out to us. We look forward to hearing from you. Until next time.
Bye.